Welcome back, riders. This is episode 5 of recapping my big roller coaster trip of 2024. If you are unfamiliar with this series, I recently went on a trip to the UK and Poland, and I'm ranking the lineup at each park I went to. If you missed any of the episodes covering Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, or Energylandia, and you're interested in hearing my thoughts on those parks, go ahead and check out the playlist in the description of this video or at the end of the video in a card. Today's video is dedicated to Legendia, a smaller amusement park in the urban setting of Katowice, Poland. This video is going to be a bit different from the other four, as I only ended up riding one ride in the entire park, Lech Coaster. So there's nothing to rank, and I only have about 2 or 3 hours worth of park time to talk about. But nonetheless, I want to cover all my bases and make sure each park I went to on this trip has its own dedicated video. If you're interested in a deeper explanation to what I was expecting going into Legendia, go ahead and check out that video in the card above. Let's dive in. Let's start the video by talking about Lech Coaster and then move on to the rest of the park afterwards. Lech Coaster is a Vekoma Bermuda Blitz that opened in 2017, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. What a fantastic roller coaster. It may seem a little unassuming standing at only 131 feet tall, but make no mistake, in my opinion, this is a great roller coaster. Similar to what I talked about with Hyperion at Energylandia, Lech Coaster has an amazing drop. I wouldn't quite put it in one of the world's best discussions, but it's not far behind at all. As far as I can see, there is no official angle given for the drop anywhere, other than that is beyond vertical. That's at least according to Wikipedia, so take that as you will, but it definitely looks and feels like the drop is beyond vertical. Add that with the turn to the right during the drop, and this is just a fantastic drop. The next moments of the ride absolutely pile on the positive G's. The pullout of the drop is rather small, and then you immediately go into a reverse sidewinder, like comically fast. It is insane. And then the exit of the reverse sidewinder is pretty tight as well, as you ride up into a twisted S hill. Every single ride, these first 10 seconds or so, I was graying out to varying degrees. The twisted S hill gives some fantastic airtime, followed by another low to the ground transition that leads into the biggest airtime hill on the ride. And then that leads into the famous inversion through this station. The pacing of everything so far on the ride that I just laid out is absolutely insane. The rest of the ride is typical Vekoma goodness. Good inversions mixed in with airtime pops. Not as crazy as the first half of the ride, but definitely still very good. It carries speed into the brake run better than the other Poland Vekomas, that's for sure. Marathoning Lech Coaster was definitely one of my favorite parts on the trip. So what does Legendia have to offer besides Lech Coaster? To be honest, I don't know if I could give you the best answer for that. As I said, Lech Coaster was the only ride I rode. As of making this video, Legendia has one other roller coaster, that being the Socket Coaster Devil's Loop. We heard it was open a week or two before we visited, but when we arrived, we discovered that it had valleyed, and thus we missed the credit, only the second on the trip. There was another roller coaster that was standing but not operating, that being Scary Toys Factory. It was in extremely rough shape. It's supposedly been closed since 2017, and it definitely looks the part. Many weeds have taken over the station and the track. The facade on the station looks pretty bad, and then some of the track is just outright gone and missing. Speaking of which, I kinda thought this park was leaning towards being in a rough state. According to RCDB, the park has had 10 roller coasters in its history. All of them opened in 2003 or later, but yet 7 of them have been removed, all of them being removed after 2010. And the 8 that are either SBNO or removed were very similar from each other. 4 of them. 4 of them were Zyklon Galaxies. 4. And then the other 4 were small kids/family coasters. Their roller coaster history is just very weird, and something feels off. kind of like how I did walking around the park. I believe it cost us $16 USD to enter, which is extremely cheap. Yet it was extremely empty, even on a Sunday. During our roughly 2 hours marathoning Lech Coaster, there were probably only around 10 different people that rode Lech Coaster, and our group accounted for 4 of those people. And it wasn't just Lech Coaster though. Walking around the midways just felt so empty, both from the standpoint that we hardly saw other people and the fact that there are just many empty plots of grass. I wonder if these are areas where rides or coasters were removed, but it just seemed like they could be doing so much more with the land they had. But then again, I could see it being a scenario where they just can't afford new rides or they're limiting their operations. Also, walking around the park after it closed at, I want to say 8 o'clock or something, so it was very dark. After it closed, it just felt so post apocalyptic. It was extremely dark. I cannot exaggerate that enough. It was so dark. They really need more lights, like everywhere, especially the midways. This park does have some other things to offer, like an interactive dark ride, a flume, they got some river rapids, some other invertium flat ride I saw in the distance, and one of those flying machine rides too. However, like I said, I didn't do any of them. I literally entered the park, walked right to Lech Coaster, marathoned it, and then exited the way I came when the park closed. The whole layout of the park is a giant circle around a pond slash lake, and I didn't even make it the whole circle around. I kind of wanted to at least try the dark ride, but Lech Coaster was just way too good to walk away from, at least with no line. And with that, that's all I could think to share about my time at Legendia. A bit of a different video this time, but this was a pretty different type of experience compared to every other park on the trip. Have you been to Legendia? What do you think of Lech Coaster and the park as a whole? Feel free to let me know in the comments below, and thank you for checking out the video. Also, this is the first video I'm publishing since I've become a YouTube partner, so once again, just want to thank everyone for the support on the channel, everyone who's tuned in to anything I've put up beforehand to help me get to this point. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Push down, pull up, exit to the right. Hope you enjoyed the video, and go have your greatest day yet. Choo choo, bye.